Hey, what's up, guys? Spencer Rhodes here. So, a lot of people like Jerry. Jerry is a very popular character. It's really hard to not like him. I mean, I'm sure he has his haters, but for the most part, everyone likes Jerry. Jerry is funny. Just every line that he says is just great, and this is his third year, his third season, and some people are worried that he might die. Especially because we have the upcoming 12 heads on spikes, which I hope it's actually 12 heads. There's enough minor characters for it to be that. It can be 8 or 9 minor characters and then 2 or 3 main characters. Even if it's not Ezekiel and Rosita, it should be 2 or 3 main characters. You can't just have a bunch of background characters be the heads on spikes. You gotta have a couple of main characters. So, a lot of people are worried that it could be Jerry. You know, like I said, Jerry is really popular. I'm a little concerned that he could be one of the heads on spikes. I do believe that he will live at least up until that point. Then I'm a little concerned that he could be one of the heads on spikes. But it could also be Ezekiel. I'm kind of one of those people that I still think that the heads on spikes, the main ones, will be just like the comics. I do think that it could be Ezekiel and Rosita. I'd like to be wrong. I'd like to be wrong about at least one of them. But I don't know, man. I don't want to... With Glenn and Abraham, I was so sure that they would... You know, there's no way that they would die before all that war. They're both so awesome. Yeah, you know, they died in the comics, but they were just drawings. They weren't played by these amazing actors, and they're so likable, and they're such important characters, and there's no way that Negan would kill one of them, or they'd both die around the same time that they die in the comics. And then they both get killed by Negan. Abraham lived past his comic death. 5 minutes later, got killed by Negan. Glenn got killed by Negan, just like the comics. And if they're not going to spare Glenn and Abraham from pretty much what happens to them in the comics, I have a hard time seeing them spare Ezekiel and Rosita. Now, some people are saying we're losing Rick and Maggie, so we should keep Rosita and Ezekiel as a trade. Yeah, I mean, I could see that. But like I said, right now I do think that we will get Ezekiel and Rosita's heads on spikes. Now, the good thing about that is I believe that Jerry could survive. I believe that Jerry could be horrified, you know, traumatized by Ezekiel's head being on the spike. That's his king. That's the guy that he served in the kingdom. And, you know, it breaks Jerry, and it breaks his heart, and he's upset, and he's angry. Jerry has an angry side. When his friends are getting fucked with, he's like a real, like, hardcore warrior. Hopefully he has another axe by now. And it could prepare him for Season 10, which will have the Whisperer War. I do believe that Season 9 will have the heads on spikes. Season 10 will have the Whisperer War. And from there, Jerry could die in Season 10, Jerry could die in Season 11, but this would mean that he at least survives this season. But he's also going to be really upset about Ezekiel and Rosita. On the other hand, they could spare Ezekiel. I mean, Ezekiel's story has been different enough so far. In the comics, he basically was separated from Michonne, and they weren't even together, and he was just about to be happy and tell her how he felt about her, and then he died. In the show, it's drastically different. He's in love with Carol. He and Carol are getting married. They're not separated. So if they're gonna do that, then maybe they do keep Ezekiel alive, especially on account of Rick and Maggie leaving. They want to keep Ezekiel alive. So if they keep Ezekiel alive, then I am worried about Jerry. I feel like between Jerry and Ezekiel, one of them will die, one of them will live. One of them will be the heads on spikes. The other one will be upset and horrified and go to the Whisperer War and fight the Whisperers. I don't think both of them should survive the heads on spikes. I don't think both of them will survive the heads on spikes. I think one of them will go. I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying I agree, but I do think that one of them will die from being on the heads on spikes. from getting killed by the Whisperers. So the argument with Jerry dying is that he's very likable. It would really upset the fans. Giving him an off-screen death might, in a way, spare the audience some pain because they don't have to watch him die. They just have to deal with the aftermath. For a character like Jerry, I could see that possibly working if filmed right. And he's happy. He's in a relationship with what's her face. I don't even know her name. She's had 3 lines. Traditional Walking Dead recurring character. Give them 3 lines and never have them talk ever until they die. She's had like 3 lines, but anyway, that doesn't matter because he's in a relationship with her. They're together. What happens when characters have romantic relationships on The Walking Dead? They die. So yeah, they could kill Jerry. He could be one of the heads on spikes. But right now, I'm leaning on Ezekiel. I think Ezekiel and Rosita will be the heads on spikes. Maybe Tara too. Maybe Tara instead of Rosita. I don't know. I'll have a better guess when we're a few more episodes into the season. It's just really hard to tell. Right now, my prediction is it'll be Rosita and Ezekiel. People are thinking, oh, they're going to switch it. They're going to switch it. They're going to switch it. I think it's just going to be Rosita and Ezekiel. Bam, bam, boom, boom, smack to the face. Same thing as the comics. Because that's what they did with Glenn. I mean, hell, that's what they did with Glenn and Abraham. They pretty much died the same way in the comics. Just Abraham died a little bit later. That's the only difference. You know, so I think Ezekiel and Rosita will be the same. I think they'll get their comic deaths, and Jerry will be upset. He'll be angry. That sort of dark side of Jerry, that warrior side that chopped the guy's head into 2 halves like a watermelon last season. That side of Jerry will come back, and Jerry will just be like this weapon during season 10 that just wants to go to the war with the Whisperers, because there will be a Whisperer war. There better be. That's an important thing from the comics. So I think Jerry will survive this season. I don't think Ezekiel and Rosita will, but I do think Jerry will. I could be wrong, but I'm placing my bets on Jerry living right now. Season 10, that's a different story, but I think he's safe for season 9. Anyway, guys, those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't be shy. Hit that like and subscribe. I'm not going anywhere. I make 1 to 2 Walking Dead videos per day, so please hit that subscribe button. Anyway, with all that said, I am Spencer Rhodes, and I will see you guys later. Bye.